Hey Dad, what's a boner?
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gregorio coming to you tonight live from the PHX, Phoenix, Arizona. Looks like we're gonna get at least a thunder, lightning storm coming through tonight, which might lead to some rain, which would be great for this dry ass place. Haven't seen rain. I don't know. The last time I could tell you, we did. Actually, I lied. We did see a little bit of a sprinkle couple days ago. Amidst this 115 degrees, a little sprinkle we will take. But honestly, it was just kind of like, nothing. It wasn't gonna help the trees grow, wasn't gonna do anything besides, make it a little bit more humid here. I feel like I was sweating more the next day than I have ever sweated in Arizona. And I work out outside. I like to get my pump on outside. Sweat like a motherfucker outside, and it was even worse, so I sweated more. What can you do, right? Gotta get swole, gotta keep my fit on. Can't be looking all dad bod, even though I am a dad, but gotta keep it tight. As my boy Jay Dahlstream would say, gotta keep that shit tight. Make sure even when I'm 50, my wife is still wanting to knock the boots. So I wanted to get into it today. Well, first off, I'm going to tell you about, my week. Had a pretty stressful week. Work, the place that actually makes me some dough, was tough this week. We're going through forecasting season. I'm in the financial business, trying to keep this shit afloat. And yeah, it was tough. We were going through this forecast. I don't know if any of you are in finance, but you understand how that shit can go. A lot of Excel spreadsheets, a lot of talking to the higher ups. It's never comfortable. A lot of getting told what to do. Again, never comfortable, especially when you're someone that doesn't like authority too much. Hey, you gotta understand, you gotta play the game so that you don't go broke. So, that's the game I gotta play. I'm gonna continue playing it so that I can take care of my family, and hopefully something will happen, down the line. I need to get me another side hustle, something that, I could make some money to take my girl out to a nice steak dinner. For me, she don't need steak, so I don't know, grilled cheese or something. She'll go hard on that grilled cheese. Anyway, today we're going to talk about deadbeat dads and maybe some other shit. I think I got some other shit up my sleeve that we can talk about today too. Don't mind me if I'm slurring in any way. I've got a couple of those White Claws in me, and them shits are good. All I can say is White Claws, Trulies. I've never had any of those seltzers, but I'm sure they're just as good. Take me back to my Zima days when I used to throw back a few Zimas, maybe some Smirnoff Ice, Mike's Hard Lemonade. That was the real shit back in high school. If you can get that shit, you were the king of the party. More than getting that Miller High Life or Natural Ice. I feel like you have to graduate into that shit anyway. It's a little bit harder to drink. Those Mike's Hard Lemonades and Smirnoff Ices, everybody could drink them. The ladies, the fellas, the flaties, everybody. We had a good crew. I miss high school sometimes. I don't miss all the bullshit from high school. I definitely don't miss going to class. I was never really a studious person, but I miss the relationships that you had in high school. I miss being able to spit some game, and not have to worry that you were offending anybody. I miss being able to, talk to a woman and not have to worry that you were gonna, hit that backlash later on of, he did something to me. He hurt me. A few of my favorite comedians, unfortunately, have fallen under the gun recently. And it's kind of sad, man. It's sad that there's, in the words of one of these favorite comedians, there's no due process anymore. It's just you hear something on the internet, someone comes out at you, and right away your career is fucked. These people have built up these big careers, and and then they fucking, fall off. They get smushed, get eaten up just like fucking macaroni and cheese or whatever your favorite snack is. And unfortunately that sucks. But I mean, the world we're living in, no due process. Everybody is, guilty until proven innocent. And, that's a bummer. I feel for, the ladies and, all that they've gone through as far as equality. So I'm not hating on that. More power to you to be able to get yourself into a better position, be the best at what you do and getting recognized for being the best at what you do. But, not just taking people's livelihoods. Unfortunately, we don't know if it's true, if it's, fabricated. But if you're bringing shit up from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 15 years ago, things like that, the world was completely different at that time. And not saying any of the shit that was done was okay, especially if it was, in regards to someone taking advantage of you or, taking your respect, or anything like that. But, it was a different world at the time. So, I just feel like, it's tough when you hear some of this shit that's going on. I'm not too far left. I'm not too far right. I'm very much in between. And I don't get political, and I'm not going to get political on this podcast. It's not what it's for. But, it's tough to see how divided everything is. How, again, you're guilty until proven innocent. And the way that the shit's hit the fan, everything, music is not my bag now. I mean, I think I'm turning into one of those old men that is like, oh man, turn that noise off. That shit sucks. And I kind of understand more, when the hip hop generation came up, what my parents were going through. They had fucking the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, they had The Who, even they went through, not saying 80s music was the best, but Journey, fucking love Journey. They went through Guns N' Roses. The people, like some of these fucking bands that were awesome, rocked out, Black Crows. I mean, they came up through the good. I feel like it was a great lyrical time during the early 90s, mid 90s. You had Counting Crows, you had fucking Third Eye Blind. Who else was there? I mean, fucking Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Rage Against the Machine. And, and then, now we have fucking, Bad Baby, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everybody tattoos their face, and everybody puts a Lil in front of some shitty name, and now everybody's a fucking famous rapper. We have fake ass, people are praising these fucking Kardashians. What do they do? I mean, it's easy to build up a billion dollar business when you never had to really work in your life, never had to really struggle. Everything's behind you, and you have all the money and the notoriety behind you to be able to do that. I don't know, I don't respect it at all. Don't really watch reality TV because it's all bullshit to me. I do watch the Vanderpump Rules, but I was in the service industry for a while, and I feel that it really kind of takes a good perspective on the service industry, maybe over dramatizes it a little bit, but I mean, everybody was fucking everybody. When I was in the service industry, there was always some kind of drama. Someone was dating one of the bartenders, they would break up, it would turn into this whole shit show. And I mean, it's what it was. You just fucking dealt with it. I mean, I made a lot of good lifelong friends in the service industry, but I also made some lifelong enemies and people that I don't give a fuck about anymore. Maybe will never think about in my life. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, I mean, I just don't pray. This generation is bad. It's only getting worse, I feel like. Who knows what's going to happen in November? Who knows what's going to happen more with this COVID situation? I mean, we've all been locked up. We're all stir crazy as shit, worried about what's going on. I don't want to fucking wear a mask for the rest of my life. I don't want to be worried. I definitely don't want to die too soon, or like either. But I mean, it's everybody's got is going through that, I think. But everybody's gonna die sometimes, I guess. I mean, really, we're all gonna put that life on the line, and each and every day in our cars, walking to the fucking mailbox, going to Circle K to get me a super gulp because I'm addicted to that soda. Yeah, it's not really helping the dad bod either. So I mean, but anyway, I mean, I love it. I love it. I'd rather literally sit back and drink a soda than I would throw down some beers and call me a fucking 6-year-old boy, but I don't give a fuck at all. Anyway, getting back to that deadbeat dad thing. So my dad growing up was a deadbeat dad. I mean, he was very lovable and pretty awesome, I would say, when he was sober. Maybe I'd say a handful of years in my life, 4 or 5, but I mean, fucking the rest of my life, he was, not there, would fucking come in all, blasted and, fucking passed out somewhere, and you see that, I mean, it fucks with you, but I think you either go one or two ways. You go, hey, I'm gonna learn from it, or hey, I'm gonna become it and be absorbed by it. Fortunately, I learned from it, though I have had, hardcore party days and, really done some shit that, I appreciate and I regret at the same time. Scotty P, baby, no regrets. No regrets. It's kind of like my credo. But I learned a lot, and I never let myself get too far into that because of what I saw. I saw a lot of shit growing up, probably more than most kids. But I have a really strong mother and a really strong father right now. Stepped into my life who taught me a lot, so I feel very blessed for that. But I really did love my dad a lot. My biological father, he just couldn't get his shit together. I mean, I know a lot of other people are experienced this or have experienced this, and it's sad. But again, you learn from it and move forward, or you become a product of it and do the same shit. It's not what's been done to you, but it's how you handle it in the end. What you become. And I'm hoping to become I'm still growing as a man. Fuck, I was late to this party. I was, 32 before I even thought about a legit career, and even now I'm still kind of confused, trying to figure out what is gonna make me happy. But everything's so damn scary. You don't want to fucking be broke. You don't want to be, sitting back in the cut and watching everybody get rich while you're fucking staying broke. But also that rat race is not gonna make you fucking rich either. You gotta take those chances and take these, the opportunities that come, take action. That's what I did with this podcast. I might never make money from it, and most people won't, and I'm not even looking for that. It's more of a passion project. But it would be dope to build a community around me where I could talk to other people, people that are just like me, or other fucking mentors that can take me to a different level. And hopefully that'll come to fruition, and if not, it's still going to be my baby and my passion project. I'm going to continue to grow it, and whether you listen or not, for me, it's something that I can use as an outlet. And the funny thing is, I listen to all these comedic podcasts, and that's what really, that's what I really internalize, and I would love it to be, but I don't think I'm that funny. And I mean, being real, but especially not solo. I feel like if I had a good dialogue with someone else, and I do want to get other people on this. I want to get some guests and shoot the shit with people, but I mean, I internalize all the comedic stuff, and I don't think I'm that funny, and I'm definitely not when it comes to topics like this. I mean, how do you make that funny? Oh, yeah, my dad left, when I was young. Ha ha ha. No, but my dad was an alcoholic. You can't. I don't know. Anyway, I was going off on a tangent there. So, speaking on the deadbeat dad thing, my son, I think I've spoke about this in a previous podcast, but my son is not my biological son. I came into his life when he's a year old. He knows the whole shit too. Me and him, I'm not gonna ever keep anything from him because I've seen too many people, even in my own family, where that shit has come out way too late. They are not as understanding. It could fuck their whole world up. So I let him know. We call his biological dad the stranger. He doesn't really know his name, but he's got my name, so fuck it. He's got the Armijo in him now, and he's gonna stay an Armijo, blood or not, for the rest of his life. He's gonna carry that name strong and hopefully do right by me, maybe be a lot funnier than I am and more successful. But we'll see. Hopefully he's taking care of me and wiping my ass when I'm in the old folks' home. He better, fucking money I spent on him, he better be wiping my ass. Paying for that shit too. But anyway, so his dad is a big piece of shit deadbeat dad. This motherfucker has 7 kids, all from different moms. Doesn't take care of any of them or pay any child support. I mean, even when we took his ass to court, I was gonna give him the opportunity to see his kid because I feel like every dad should be able to have that opportunity. So we were gonna give him the opportunity. The court even appointed him a lawyer while we were paying, thousands of dollars to be able to make this shit happen. And this motherfucker didn't even show up. Yeah, didn't show up. Everything paid for him, didn't show up. And you know what? This system's a bit bullshit too, because he signed over his rights and they still gave him a chance to be able to fucking go to court and, the opportunity to be able to take his son. It's not his fucking son. The person that, he gave his sperm to be able to create. He was still able to do that and, fuck with us. And I'm surprised he didn't either because he hates my son's mom, my wife. And I could see his scummy ass doing that shit to be able to fuck with us. And funny thing is, I've never seen this motherfucker in person. And probably a good thing too, because, he'd definitely get, the 5 fingers to the face. And, I don't condone violence, but I also don't not condone violence. So, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so he's a big piece of shit. And I don't think my son would have, even if he never met me, even if he wasn't my son, I think he'd have been better off without him. And sometimes in these situations with these deadbeat dads, I do feel that they're better off in the situation without these people. Even deadbeat moms. There's some fucking, we always put it on the dad. There's some fucking deadbeat moms out there too. Deadbeat parents, drugged out, trying to, we always try to lay it on the line with the dads, but there's some fucking dirty ass moms out there too. People trying, smoking that crack, hitting that heroin, and drug habits aren't funny by any means, but they're, if they do it to themselves, I don't fucking have any sympathy for them. I have sympathy for their children, for their family. I don't have any sympathy for them. Fuck that. And they're doing it to themselves. And they started doing it to themselves. And I know there's backstories. I watch Intervention. Yeah, I watch it just like you. And I see that there's a lot of backstories. A lot of times they get hooked on it because they had an injury, things like that. But I don't think that can be as much of an excuse. I've never been addicted to anything, maybe pussy, but I think every guy is addicted to that shit. So, but I've masked that addiction. I'm married now. We won't tell her though. Anyway, just kidding, hon. I love you to death. But yeah, so I just think there's a lot of deadbeat people out there, should I say. And, it sucks for these children because, they might end up growing up to be deadbeat people too because, what depends on how they grow up. It does depends on if they get adopted by good family or if they, good people. And it could be twisted. I'm curious to see how someone in my family grows up because they, their parents were fucking deadbeats as well, but they got adopted by a really solid family. And I just hope that person goes in the right direction and they are, a good member of this society and not, being anything like their parents were. So, it is what it is. Pretty deep subject. I can tell you right now, I have no pity or sympathy for anybody that is a deadbeat parent. I think that's the shittiest thing you could ever do, is do something to a child. If you hurt a child, fuck you. If you, that dude recently that we saw on going through the news that killed like some, little white kid, because I don't know, it was a black guy that killed a white kid. The race shouldn't come into play, but fuck you, you piece of shit. That's fucked up. You took that life out of that kid, who knows for what reason, but you should die for sure. In not even in jail. They should kill you. So, I know I get a little bit heated on this subject, and I will continue to. I'm very passionate about it. It sucks. And I'm a product of it, but I also had a really solid foundation with my mother, like I mentioned earlier. And I was lucky. I had a really strong family behind me. So even if it wasn't my mother, I would have had somebody else take me in. And I was very lucky. So, go mom, go grandma and grandpa, go aunties and uncles. I respect you and I appreciate you. Switching subjects right now. We are babysitting or dog sitting I don't know what you call it. Dog sitting a friend of ours and a pet, and she's an awesome dog. I'll give her that. To preface this, I'm not a dog person at all. Not an animal person, to be honest. I don't hate them, I won't hurt them, but I'm not a fucking animal person. I don't want my house to have a bunch of fucking hair all over it that I have to vacuum up. I already had to do that shit today. I don't want to be responsible for something and have to come home and feed it because if I'm having a good time somewhere and chilling with some friends, I'm gonna be responsible to come home and feed it. Yes, I have kids, but my kids are gonna end up taking care of me. The dog will probably die before, or animal will probably die before before I do. So, I don't know. Everybody says it's great to have a dog. They're man's best friend. All dogs go to heaven. I've seen Beethoven. I don't know. When I was young, I was actually, like the backstory is I was attacked by a dog when I was young. Which obviously is traumatic for everybody, and animal lovers are gonna tell me, well, you need to try it again. You need to be, open to it. Well, fuck you. You didn't get fucking bit by a dog when you were walking home from the bus, down your road. So, anyway, I am not a huge dog person. I don't think I'll ever be. Though this dog, I will give her this. She is actually pretty awesome. She is very obedient. She sheds, but she doesn't shed too much, and she doesn't get on any of the furniture, which is, a big deal. When I was cleaning today, there wasn't a ton of dog hair everywhere. I was still, in places that I didn't want it to be, but, it wasn't everywhere. So, I like her. If something happened to our friends and they wanted us to take her in, I probably would be okay with it if my wife and my son did all the babysitting. I'll tell you this though too, it does feel a little bit more comfortable having a dog in the house, like when you're going to sleep, because at least she'll notify you if something's going on in your house. If someone is trying to break into your house, if there's something going on, you know, rustling outside, she's pretty protective, and you know, I appreciate that. But I don't know, I mean, just caring for something else. I heard they're kind of expensive, especially depending on the breed you get. I like the kind of, as far as looks goes, I like the cool breeds. I really like, and it's, of course, it's the fucking expensive breeds that everybody wants. It's the bull terriers. It is English bulldogs. It is those bullies that in short legs, but they just have this awesome, cool face. They actually look really scary, and I probably wouldn't want to, you know, have one in my home. Wouldn't know what to do. I'd be scared of my own dog in my house. But I think, you know, it's you know, those are the cool looking dogs. Funny enough, I'm gonna tell you a story. We took Lucy to the park. Her name's Lucy. So we took Lucy to the park. And, you know, it's actually just a fucking dirt lot, or a small grass lot next to our house. We took her there. You know, I wore her ass out, just kept throwing the ball to the point where she wouldn't even bring the ball all the way back to me. She would bring it and drop it, and she would lay down probably like 20 feet from me, and on purpose I would go and grab it and throw that shit, and they can't resist. I swear, going back to the drug thing, it's like these dogs are on, I mean, they're on, that's their crack. It's like the ball. It was the movie. It was like, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. That's what she was like, but she was wrecked afterwards. She slept really well. As we were walking home, there was a lady with two big dogs. I mean, one was fucking what is those horse dogs called? I mean, they're Great Dane. One was a Great Dane, and the other one was, I don't know, some sheepdog. Anyway, we're walking past. I go to the other side of the road because I know we're walking past, and Lucy gets a little hyphy when it comes to other dogs. And as we're walking past, the lady's like, "Oh no, the dogs are nice. Don't worry about it." Lucy's, you know, kind of getting her, you know, swelling up a little bit, trying to be Mrs. Tough Dog. She's only about 25, 30 pounds, nothing big whatsoever. And she's always looks like she's smiling. She's kind of a sweet dog. She is a sweet dog. But she, you know, we're walking by, and the fucking lady's big ass dog, the horse dog, gets off the leash, runs towards us. I have my baby girl with me in the stroller. I freak out. You know, probably I shriek like a girl, jump behind the stroller. My son starts crying, who had Lucy on the leash, and then I kind of went into instinctual dad mode and like trying to save Lucy. They start barking at each other, getting crazy. I don't think that they were gonna hurt each other. Maybe that's just how they greet each other. I don't fucking know. But anyway, so they go and just start, you know, doing. I pull Lucy. I'm freaked out by the other dog. I'm shaking. And we finally get her out of there, and fucking, you know, Lucy just chills. She goes back and just like walking like there's nothing happened. It was like watching two Latinas fight, and you know, they're pulling each other's hair, and they're, you know, talking about their fucking earrings, and you know, rubbing off each other's eyebrows, and then they come back and they're like, "Fuck you, eh?" And they walk opposite ways. At least that was my experience growing up in Santa Fe, New Mexico. You know who you are. You know who you are. But anyway, so this dog, though, has made me think about potentially getting a dog. Maybe like 17% of me is like, maybe potentially. You know, I do like amphibians, so I would probably, you know, get one of those Sonoran desert tortoises. You know, I've heard they burrow holes and shit in your backyard, but they're very low maintenance. You keep them back in the backyard, and those bitches will live to like 150, so I could pass that shit down generation to generation. I mean, sounds good to me. Low maintenance, don't shed, keep them outside, don't have to come home and, you know, fucking worry that they haven't eaten, or, you know, put shit in the house. Just throw some lettuce, some watermelon, you know, other, you know, fucking fruits and shit out there, and they'll, you know, take it down, and I won't have to worry about that shit anymore. That's as low maintenance as you can get, you know, especially when I have two high maintenance children. You know, talk about the terrible twos. Well, we definitely got the terrible 5.5s, probably 6s. And the worst part is they could be like, the biggest shitheads, and then they'll be like, I love you, Dad. You're the best dad in the whole world. And you have to, you're gonna accept it. Who's not gonna be like, I love you too? You can't just be like, fuck you, go to bed, you asshole. I guess you can, but it'll be a pretty shitty way for your kid to go to sleep. Also, my kid is terrible waking up. We were driving home tonight and I made him stay up the whole way, probably about a 30-minute drive, because I don't like carrying his ass inside, for one, but also every time I try to grab him, carry him inside, he freaks out and has like this crazy attack where he's almost rolling on the floor, and it's embarrassing. I don't want the neighbors to see. I almost get to the point where I need to choke him out. Yeah. I also heard a story recently where a dad got beat up by his son, and left him with some marks, and really fucked him up. And Joey, you step to me like that, you better get ready to be put down, little man. I'm telling you, if he becomes a wrestler, I'm gonna go take wrestling. If he becomes a jiu-jitsu practitioner, I'm gonna go take jiu-jitsu and be a practitioner. If he gets hardcore into boxing, I'm gonna be the one sparring his ass, because I'm not letting him become tougher than me. I need to have the mental edge, just like being a big brother. Like, I'm gonna have the edge. You're never gonna have the edge. I'm always gonna be the dad, and hopefully we never get in. I don't think we'll ever get into some shit like that, but you never know. You don't know. You don't know what kind of kid this person's gonna grow up into. I know he's probably gonna smoke the ganja. Maybe do some mushrooms. Drink for sure. Hopefully, he'll learn enough from me to understand that he can't be an alcoholic. But that's another thing, that passed down, if it's in his blood. And I know it's in his mom's side blood. I don't know if it's in his dad's. I don't know, maybe I should care to know, but I don't really even like thinking about that asshole. But if, hopefully he'll know enough, and we'll be able to, teach him enough so that he doesn't become that alcoholic, deadbeat piece of shit. I guess we can only see. I know he's gonna do a lot of dumb shit. I just hope that he trusts me enough when he does that dumb shit and gets caught or gets in trouble to be able to tell me and talk to me. That's the most important thing. So I know his mom's gonna be a pushover, a little softy. Hopefully she's not the same with my daughter, because I don't want to have to be wrangling both of them and be the bad guy. I know other parents out there know what it's like to always be the bad guy. It sucks. I don't want to fucking be the person that they're like, I can't talk to him. Dad's gonna get pissed off. I do find myself to be a little bit more yelly, and I'm working on it. But when you have a kid that's virtually going to school and can't sit still, comes into your room consistently when you're having meetings, and just wants to talk to you, it's tough. It's hard because you want to talk to him, but at the same time you want to seatbelt him to a fucking chair and make his ass sit down and do whatever he's got to do. Parent life. That parent life. Well, anyway, I'm about to sign off, but I hope you guys have a good, weekend, good night, good day, whenever you're listening to this. And I want you guys to share this for me. I'm not too proud to ask. I'm not getting many hits right now. I'm trying to throw it out there. I want to create this community, but I need your guys' help. I need you to be able to share it. I don't want to be an overshare, one of those people that continuously shares and gets people just scroll by on social media. So share this for me. Listen to it for me. Hit me up, hook me up, and I'll hook you up in some way or another. But yeah, I appreciate it. You can find me on @FlockingFathers on Instagram, @FlockingFathers on Twitter, and Flocking Fathers page on Facebook. You can also go to Flocking Fathers on YouTube. I'll be posting the video, and this episode, or these episodes, will be on Podbean, on Apple Music, also on and it'll automatically go to Facebook and Instagram as well. So, I really appreciate you guys. Let's keep this flocking show going. Let's make sure that we're continuing to flock with each other. And, take care. Peace out.